true story. I got a year-old blue tick hound about a month ago. When I first received my girl, she had a hard time sleeping at night, which is normal for her being in a new place. I'm a very jumpy person, even more in the night, and my room is in the basement where I have experienced other things. One night I was asleep and I was woken up at 3:30 a.m. by my dog growling. I had had her for about a week and never heard her make a noise like this. She was looking at the wall and growling in a low, threatening growl. Of course my heart starts running 20 miles an hour. I was so scared I couldn't move, but in a shaky voice called the dog's name. She has really good recall, but she didn't listen to me. She looked at me for a second and whimpered, then went back to growling. I finally got enough courage to turn on my phone's flashlight and I pointed where she was looking and I was shaking. She looks at me again and walks in front of me and keeps growling as if she was protecting me from something. I couldn't see anything at this point. I was sweating and felt a panic attack coming on. I keep my flashlight trained on where my dog was looking and then I saw it. I saw an old TV I had in my room because my dad had stored it there. In the reflection I saw something that made my blood go cold. It was mine and my dog's reflection. I laughed so hard, covered the TV so she wouldn't see her reflection, and I haven't heard a peep for her since.
God has abandoned us. If you are seeing this, then you are one of the lucky few. It has now been 7 days since they have arrived and more than half the population is dead. At first the government told us that we shouldn't worry as they could handle it. They were wrong. First it was the president, then many others revealed to be a part of these monsters. If I could describe it in one word, it would be repulsive. Executions all over the streets, suicides would happen everywhere. The only way to escape was by going underground. I went underground with 2 friends. It was pointless to contact family. I knew they were dead. We went underneath an abandoned skyscraper that had been destroyed during a failed missile launch. Debris was everywhere. Every step you took was one closer to death. We were underground for 2 days before it started to happen again. A ringing in my ears, slowly getting louder and louder. I am not sure how or why, but it suddenly stopped and I could think clearly. I finally came out from underneath the building, covered in the blood of my 2 friends who had gone down there with me. I refused to turn back and hide. It was time to show the world who I am. I walked as far as my legs could take me until I reached my destination, the very pit which I was laid to rest. The fool had put me here eons ago, thinking I would never gain the strength to do what I had done. God is dead. I killed him, and I am now coming for you.
Is my house haunted? So I moved into this house about 10 years ago. We are in a secluded area for the most part. We have about 3 neighbors who have lived here for 30 years or so. There's a couple things I want to talk about before I get into the paranormal stuff that I believe are useful. First thing first is the layout of the home. It's 3 stories, and on the top stories is where most of the bedrooms are. The master bedroom included, which is attached to a master bathroom. Not the weird, right? Well, until you two further into the master bathroom. There is a door at the far corner that leads to another room. This door had many locks on it. In this room there is no carpet, only one small window, and is floored with old plywood that has stains. The realtor claimed it was dog pee, but I have a feeling it was something else. Attached to this room is another room. This door was also covered in locks. The only difference was that it did have carpets and 2 big windows. Another door from the master bathroom lead to the walk-in closet where most of these events happened. Then on the main floor there was a room connector to the garage that was just plywood, had locks on it, and there were scratches on the door. Now this one I do believe was dogs, but I still found it strange. In the basement there was garbage everywhere. And there was a cold storage that had doll heads hanging from different areas. It was pretty scary, NGL. Okay, so that is the layout portion and the things that were physically weird with the house. Now time for the history of the house. Our few neighbors had intriguing stories of the family that lived there before us. One of them being that the man would get so angry he would beat his pigs until it died. Another being him leaving his wife and at least 6 kids alone for days on end. Once the wife got stuck while driving home and the neighbor had to come help. She was covered in bruises, and when she got home her husband was drunk watching football, not paying attention. They would also hear screaming matches and kids crying, but when the cops were called the wife didn't press charges. So we got layout and history taken care of. Let's now talk about what we found in the yard. First off, we found about 4 to 5 old sheds that appeared to have both animals and humans living in it. We also had our dogs finding animal bodies wrapped in plastic, missing bones that could be used for demonic rituals. We found doors buried in almost every place possible. We found old kid toys that had been broken and that looked like a rage of some sort. Now let's talk about my little sister. At the time she was only 6 months old and she would start screaming as if something was hurting her out of the blue. Once she could start talking, she would talk to random people and tell us about these people. They all had names and she would refer to them as the people in the closet. At this time she took her naps in my parents' closet since she shared a room with some of her older siblings. She would talk to these people, we all heard her. Some days she would wake up screaming, pointing to the corner, telling us it's gonna hurt me. It got to the point that she could not enter that room. My mom had had 3 kids since and each of them have had similar experiences in the closet. Now let's talk about my room. I live in a room not far from where the doll heads were found. I have heard voices in the night, usually around 3 a.m. They would even tell me about things that were to happen and they almost always came true. I also started having nightmares and still do. My dreams have also started to tell the future. I decided to perform an experiment and placed religious things around my room. Like a cross, a picture of Jesus, and a Bible. At around 3 the picture fell, at about 3:40 the cross flew across the room, and about 4:30 the Bible opened. I was terrified and from that day on have slept on the couch with my dog right next to me. We also have the basic cold spots, random chills, and unexplained footsteps, along with doors slamming shut and lights flickering. What do you think? Is my house haunted?
Man, that sounds like a horror fest. For real though, maybe get the house blessed. Sounds like spirits are trying to warn you, and a demon is torturing you all. Burn some sage around the house, try going to your local church and having a talk with the priest about your situation. I skimmed over some parts. Is this a daily occurrence? Don't try communicating with whatever it is. Also, some people are skeptical. I'd explain the history of your home before anything paranormal. Best of luck. P.S. If you ever feel frightened enough, or attacked, try using "in Jesus' name, I command you to leave this home at once." It may come in handy, I'm not sure, ghost.
It's not a daily occurrence, but it happens enough that it gets scary. My parents don't believe in any of the sage burning, so I'm not allowed to. They think it's demonic and I don't. They also have done some religious stuff on the house that aligns with their beliefs, which are different from most. I have never felt attacked, just spooked, but if I do, I'll say that thanks for the suggestion. There is no way in hell I'll communicate with it. I'm not that stupid, lol. Black-eyed children. As a kid I had always heard legends of the black-eyed children. I liked the anxiety of the thought, the adrenaline that raced through me when it got told. The story goes like this. The cabin was surrounded by snow and the blizzard raged on. When you think cabin you think it is in the middle of we're in the 20s or 30s, but in reality it was 2001. The cabin was located on a piece of property about a mile away from a large town. The couple was a young couple in their mid-20s. They were huddled together with hot cocoa watching some charisma movie, the name of which I have forgotten. As they watch this movie all cuddled together, they hear a quite faint knock followed by a soft "help, I need help. It's so cold." The couple looked at each other confused as the handspan slowly got to his feet and opened the door. He opened the door to reveal a small frail little boy in ragged clothes. He was shivering and he was looking down, avoiding eye contact as he said, I need help. Can I please come in? Like any normal person, the young couple let in the little boy. They gave him some hot cocoa and asked where he lived. He didn't answer their questions and just kept his face down. The couple just figured he was shy and didn't push him too hard, making sure he was warm. Once the couple had finished their movie with the little boy, they got him all set to sleep on the couch. They told him where he could find them if anything was wrong. Before they went to bed, the little boy looked at the couple. His look made them stand still in shock, for his eyes were pure black, not a speck of white showed through. Unnerved, the couple went to bed figuring it was just a birthing defect. A week later the couple was found murdered in their bed, their throats ripped out, covered in blood, with a look of horror on their face. They found the woman's diary telling the story of the black-eyed child. Never let a child in your house. Make them look at you first. Once a black-eyed children is in your home, you're dead. They cannot enter a home without permission. Be safe out there.